Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness was a phenomenal comic book lover's dream come to life in movie form. This will be a spoiler-free review, so please stay tuned, check out the review, and let me know what you thought about the movie if you've seen it, and let me know what you thought about this review. All right, let's get into it. Hello one and all, thank you for coming back to the channel. It is greatly appreciated. It is your boy, the Big Rob Theory. And finally, 3 weeks later, I was able to check out Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Directed by my boy Sam Raimi, he did a great job with this movie. The horror elements were great, the comic book alliterations were amazing, the cinematography was beautiful, the acting was just through the roof. Elizabeth Olsen deserves an Oscar for this movie. She really does, because maybe I'm just a big fan of the Scarlet Witch, but just the way how she portrayed a broken, torn down, angry mother was amazing to see. Like, she did a great job with this, and I have to give props to her. The direction of this movie was beautiful. Benedict Cumberbatch reprises his role as Dr. Stephen Strange, and it was just a great time to see one of my favorite Avengers on the big screen again, but not only on the big screen, but bringing in so many different comic books to this movie. It was crazy, man. Some comic books that they alluded to and definitely incorporated into this movie that I saw almost instantaneously was the Shumagorath era, the Avengers, Illuminati. That was amazing to see the cameos that we got. Oh my God. Your boy was geeking out a little bit. You know, there's been some extenuating circumstances happening today, so I wasn't as into the movie as I really would love to be, but I still enjoyed it. Other comic books such as Exiles, The House of M, Avengers Disassembled, Young Avengers, Secret Wars, they went ham with this movie. They said, okay, let's open up the multiverse and let's just do a big old splat of everything all at once and not give a crap about it. And it was great. I love the way that they brought in so many different elements to this movie. This is one of the better movies in this phase that I feel like would be a bridge to help the other movies that have come out during phase 4 to get to where they're supposed to get, you know? And honestly, I know I sound a little bit fanboyish about this, but it's just the way how this movie was shot, man. The direction of the movie, the plot line of the movie was great. So in regards to Doctor Strange, this movie directly follows the events of No Way Home. Whereas in No Way Home, sorry, spoilers if you haven't seen it yet, for No Way Home at least, Doctor Strange helps Peter Parker with a spell that breaks time and reality altogether. So this is the aftermath of that. And the way how they did it was just phenomenal. I might not say her name right, but Xochitl Gomez, I believe is how you say her name. Forgive me if I said it wrong. She plays America Chavez in the movie. And I know that, you know, that's already been shown that she's in the movie, so that is no spoiler whatsoever. My only thing with the movie, one of my main things with the movie is, as great of a character as she is, because in the comics she's phenomenal, and I love that they did bring her in because she is an integral part of the Doctor Strange world. But bringing her in right now when there's been literally nothing said about her whatsoever just kind of sucks, you know? Like, the movie doesn't suck. It's just the fact that they brought her in just so, here you go, here's America Chavez, happy Christmas. You know, it just kind of, it just doesn't feel like it was well deserved because we didn't get something with her already. That's it. I mean, I loved her in the movie because I love her character, you know? Like, she is a powerful human being, you know, and part of the Young Avengers, so it's like pretty dope that they brought her in. Again, I just wish that there was a little bit more of an establishment before we got America Chavez, but doesn't really take away from the movie, folks. Really doesn't. Another slight issue I have is just the time frame of this movie. I love that even though it was 2 hours and some change, it didn't feel like that to me at all. I just wish it was a little bit longer because I would have loved to see certain scenes play out a little bit more, especially when it got to one of the comics that involves various people, especially the comics of the Avengers, the Illuminati, and House of M. I would have loved to see more of that shit, but it's okay. I'm happy with what we got. You know, it's fine. So hopefully we'll get more. But yeah, man, overall, this movie was just really, really good. I know going in, I thought that it was going to be great. You know, I had high expectations because Doctor Strange is one of the Marvel characters that I've read a decent amount of comics of when I was younger. And I refreshed on a little bit before I went in. And even when I was in Cincinnati opening up the store, I was looking at some comics and I was just like, oh man, I gotta, you know, prep because this involves the Multiverse of Madness. So let me reread this just to see. Some of the stuff I actually reread they didn't even really touch on, but a lot of the stuff that I already had known about, they did. And I literally was sitting there like, what the hell? Like, yes, I was surrounded by people. I promise you guys, in my theater, there were so many empty seats. So many empty seats in the rows before me and the rows behind me. But for some godforsaken reason, the seat that I chose, every single person decided to sit in that row. I don't understand. We were the only row that was full. The only row. The hell is this? It's all good. It really didn't take away from my experience. At first, I was kind of like, because there was a guy who took off his shoes and he was just up there like, and I'm like, okay, bro. Yeah, this is great. No, somebody next to me actually like leaned over because they saw me geeking and they asked me, they're like, hey, like, who is that? Why is he involved with this? And I was like, did you ever read the comic House of M? And he's like, no, I didn't. I'm like, well, after this movie, definitely go check out that comic. Look it up. And yeah, you'll see why I was geeking. Another positive about this movie is something that's pretty obvious and that we all know about the MCU and movies nowadays. The quality is going to be great. CGI is going to be phenomenal. But I will say when it comes to certain things, CGI is a lot harder, like case in point magic or speedsters or anything like that. I just feel like CGI is just a little harder for that. CGI in general is tough, so I have mad props for people who do it. The CGI that went into this was just great, man. The way how they incorporated the magic and the timing of people using their hands and doing stuff was just great, man. I really have to give props to this movie. They made sure that at every tier they like got as far up as they could, and I can tell it was really well done. So I'm very, very happy with this movie. There's 2 after credit scenes, 2, so don't leave. And one of the after credit scenes, ooh boy, that man, that is I saw a certain character came on the screen. That scene made me think of the comic The Search for the Sorcerer Supreme, and I'm just sitting there like, there's no way. They already just went ham with this movie, and then this after credit scene, like a lot of people in here don't really know who that is. Wow, holy shit, that was just crazy. It's just crazy. This movie was so well done and great. Man, I'm gonna go see it again, and I have to do a spoiler review because I have to get out all of this kerfuffle in my mouth and my head about these comics, man, and just how everything just like tied in. So definitely tune in for when I do a spoiler video. All right, guys, I want to thank you for joining me. I know my thoughts were all over the place, but I appreciate the support and I appreciate the love. If you aren't subscribed to the channel, please hit that subscribe button and the bell next to it so you can get a notification anytime there's a new video. Thanks, guys. Until we meet again.